today we got a special guest. I've done this before. This is Mark, and since we've seen him last, he's become an airline pilot. So what I want to ask Mark today, as we fly, we're just going to fly around a little bit and try to get some info out of Mark of what it was like to go through the process to become an airline pilot, what it's like now, and if it's what he expected. His airline has asked us not to mention their name, which is fine, but just so your answers have credibility, this is like an American people-carrying airline. You're not pulling, duct tape blocks from Venezuela or something.
That is correct.
Okay, all right.
we are very legitimate and wonderful company.
Okay, so when I met you, you were and correct me if I state anything wrong with any of this, you were a part-time CFI at the same flight school I was here.
That's correct.
And when you started getting into flying, did you start with the intention of going to a kind of a commercial airline job, or did that kind of evolve after you got into flying?
I wanted to go in the Air Force when I was young, but because of my glasses, and I'm sure people don't know this, but I'm not a young man. I know that I look like I'm in my early 20s. I'm not, and that comes as a big surprise.
Yeah, we got the early 20s filter on that camera.
Well then, I graduated high school in '94, couldn't get into the Air Force and fly jets because I wore glasses. LASIK was not really a thing then. It was there, but not approved. So that didn't happen. So joined the fire department, gave up on flying, didn't even think about it again until my wife's friend's husband had 2 airplanes. Hey, do you want to go fly one? Go get pizza? Sure. And as soon as we landed back here at Concord, I went to high school, signed up, had to do it.
Ready for departure.
Never considered
working on your release.
Never considered it as a career, just for fun.
Just wanted to do it.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's like everything else. You had a mission as a student, you had a mission because you always wanted to fly. Well, then when you get your ticket, you're like, well, what's next? There's all of a sudden this void.
Yep.
Well, let me go get my instrument. It did the same thing for me. CFI, taught, and just opportunities flying with people. My daughter got into college, and I was like, well, I was already retired from the fire department. I'm going back to work.
There you go.
And I said, well, what do I want to do? And just talking with people and decide on that, and it worked out great. Very blessed to be where I'm at.
I assume applying for a airline job similar to those, you would send in a resume, cover letter kind of thing?
No, not really.
No?
Actually,
okay.
So there's an app. I'm going to see if I can remember it. Airlineapps.com
okay.
is the name of it. So that is the go-to place to put everything. So everything's online. So now for hiring, it's like a clearinghouse, if you will. You'll upload, you'll click all the airlines you want to apply for, all the employers.
Okay, so you only have to upload everything once.
Yeah. 933 Papa, start your
well, that's cool. Let's get her over on the center line. Come on. Well, if you average being right at center line and left of center line, I think I was on the center line.
Oh yeah, we'll add them and divide by 2.
So when you do your application on this app,
yeah,
I'm assuming there's standard stuff. How many hours do you have? What type were they in? Was there anything you did extra, like above and beyond? I know you flew some right seat jet time, didn't you?
I did.
Does something like that help, or is there a place to put that in there? Or?
Yes, so that stuff does help because the company's going to look for whoever's hiring the managers. They're going to look at those hours. It certainly helps any kind of turbine time you got, any advanced aircraft stuff that you've got. It's not necessary. It's not like, oh, I've got to have it, but I had opportunities to go fly with people.
Okay. And not to interrupt you, but I'm interrupting you. How did you come across those opportunities?
All right, great questions. Aviation is a very small community. Knowing people, staying in contact with people, being humble are all things that got me into that right seat, building that jet time.
Okay.
I got to fly with a gentleman in a Falcon that he has, a Lear. Also got typed in them, SIC typed in them, but it's still a type.
Right. So basically, it's networking.
Networking is so much of a key.
So hanging out around people who fly until you hear about it, an opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to meet people, and you're going to have the opportunity to meet other people. Even as an instructor at CFI, you may be teaching somebody, and they know somebody that's got an airplane.
Right.
And they may hook you up. I know that's happened at one of the flight schools. Got them a little bit of jet time.
Okay. So here's an important question on your application.
Sure.
How big a factor did your appearance on my YouTube channel play in getting hired?
Well,
and was there a special box for that?
There was no box on there.
Oh.
Have you been in a YouTube video with Bruce?
Oh. I thought that would have pulled some weight for you there.
Well, it could have. It could have. I mean, people could have seen that.
Okay.
That's possible. I can't say that it didn't help.
Just wondering how far my reach was there.
Well, I know that through the comments on some of your videos, I'm pretty sure that you reach at least West Coast and maybe even other countries.
Well, it's funny. I pulled up a list of the top 10 countries by views,
Okay.
Obviously, the U.S. is number 1. Australia was number 2, which surprised me. Canada was number 3.
Really?
So, all English-speaking, whatever. But the ones that surprised me was number 7 was Nigeria.
Nigeria? You're big in Nigeria?
1,900 views last year.
Wow.
And number 8 was India.
Viper 833,
Really?
Foxtrot Charlie, turn left at Delta.
It's interesting. I guess I need to show you. I got a letter from a gentleman. Not a letter, I'm sorry, an email from a letter. He happened to be a Nigerian prince. He said that he knows somebody that was a relative of mine.
Has
that
a couple billion?
Billion.
Billion?
Billion with a
Oh,
B.
jeez.
And if I would just send him some information, my bank account, he was going to transfer it.
Yeah, well, he needs that to put it in there, so I understand that.
Right. And so I was like, I don't really know. I said, I would much rather call you on the phone and give it to you in person than to, but maybe you know the guy, maybe he watched your videos.
I don't know, maybe we could reach out to the Nigerian prince. He was a prince? Is that...
It was a prince.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mark is here, so if you need to get him again to get that transfer going, we know where to reach him.
Reach out. Please
Put a comment below.
That's right. I mean, I got to pay for college, like I said, for my daughter. So anything that the Nigerian government or knows anything about getting me some cash, I'd appreciate it.
Gotcha. All right, so you go in, you get your interview, you get hired.
I do.
And then the first step is, I guess, you got to get your ATP.
So no.
It's not. Okay, see, I know nothing about this.
Well, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. So what I did was, I said, okay, I'm going to apply. Let me go ahead, and I went down. I signed up with, I believe it's ATP Flight School.
Right.
But you sign up online. I went and did my ATP CTP class. I went to Dallas, Texas, did that. I did the online.
So you paid for that yourself?
I did. I paid for that myself.
And that's what, 5, 6, 7 grand, something like that?
Yeah, it was something like that. I think it was like 4 or 5.
Okay.
Like okay. So I did that and got that done. And it's very easy to go online also and get your radio license. So that's done.
Okay.
That's easy through the FCC. Very simple. First class medical. Went and got one just to make sure that I could. There wasn't going to be any issues with that. So I had all that done. And then the ATP actual stuff is done through training. So I just needed to show up my ATP CTP.
Okay.
And so that's what I did.
And is that normal that you have to do that, the CTP, all that on your own, or will an airline pay for that training?
Some will pay for it.
Okay.
I just went ahead and hedged bets, and I said I'm going to do it.
Right.
It was just easier for me to go ahead and do it.
It gives you another leg up too, I would assume.
Well, I mean, it makes sense that it would help out.
Right. Okay.
Certainly could be wrong. If anybody wants to comment and says that no, that their employer did it, that's cool, because I know it's 6 of one, half dozen of another.
So ATP has a check ride. Is it like any other certificate? You got a written test, oral test, check ride?
Yep.
Okay. And what is your check ride in?
So the check ride for us, for the ATP license, was in a simulator.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, all the stuff, the training, we do a lot of classroom and online stuff, and then we do procedure training in a simulator, but it's a stationary simulator. It's it's kind of touch screen, so you're just going through the motions. You're learning that rote memory of where is stuff at.
Okay.
And so for me, this is the first time in that style jet, having to do that. So you're just learning where everything is at, all the systems. And then when you get ready to go for the check ride portion, you just
Back to the sim?
you're back in the full motion sim, and
Okay.
we're going through normals and we're going through emergencies.
Okay. So
And then you learn a lot. Actually, your first day is with a captain who is specially trained to have, somebody brand new over here.
okay.
So if you just absolutely check out for some reason, the captain is trained to where he can handle it, no problem. Don't worry about it. I've got the airplane. I've got it all. You just chill out.
So you've got all that straight. You go in, and I'm sure there's training on operating procedures, things like that. But really, I guess you have to get a type rating for whatever jet they want to put you in.
Right, and that's correct. So when you come out of training, when you go for your check rides, you do them in the sim again. And when you're finished, you finish up. The examiner will come in, and he's a examiner through the company, but through the FAA. He's with the company, but through FAA.
Okay.
Just like your DP, except he's tied to the company. Gives you your certificate, just like a regular DP does. Congratulations. So he handed me my certificate. He handed me my epaulets, handed me my wings, handed me my hat pin, handed me my vest. Said,
all right.
Congratulations.
So now that you're doing it, you're through your training, you're in there, is it what you thought it would be? Have there been any big surprises versus expectations versus reality? Is it better or worse?
I would say I didn't have an expectation because I didn't know.
Right.
And you don't know what you don't know. But for me, I think the surprising thing is going from either instructing or flying Part 91 like what we're doing today, tooling around. You even mentioned it a little bit earlier when we were talking. I don't think the camera was running, but you get a short approach here. You were trying to get in behind or in front of somebody.
In front of the jet, yeah.
We don't do all that. So from the time we get in the airplane and I meet the captain and I say hello, introduce myself, he or she introduces themselves to me, everything is standardized.
Okay.
Until we get to our destination and we pull up to the gate and the gate pulls into the door, we run our last checklist, everything is standardized.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's not a lot of surprises. Very rare do we get a, I didn't know that's the gate we're going to.
Right.
Or I didn't know, we have a lot of information at our fingertips and everything is the same all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so you've been how long have you been at this since you've been put in the jet?
So I got hired in early February of this year.
Okay, so you're coming up almost a year.
Almost a year, yep.
Has some of the novelty worn off? Has it turned into a job, or is it still kind of fun and different and exciting?
It's what you make of it.
Okay.
If you want to hate it, you can hate it.
Okay.
If you want to love it and always make it new because you're constantly learning, there's so much to know about the jet we fly that if you just don't care, you just want to do your thing, then you can do that, and you can hate it and be miserable. You can learn, you can read, you can study. The captains that I fly with have been great. Whether they've been young people, people that are older than me, have been wonderful, and they're all teachers.
Okay.
That's the other great thing is I learned to always ask questions.
Right.
Anytime especially when I was learning to fly the jet, and very, very new, which I'm still new, but I would always tell the captains I was flying with, hey, you feel free to critique. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I want to get better.
Right.
And because of that, I love going to work. It's not a job.
Okay.
We are not digging a ditch and
That's
replacing a water line in the front yard.
Yep.
For in 10 degrees of weather.
Right.
That's a job. Right. That's right.
So misconception or reality? Basically, you only work during takeoff and landing, and all the stuff in between. You're twiddling your thumbs with the plane flying itself. That's kind of what the flying public thinks.
Flying public thinks. And so we have an option. If we want to hand fly the entire flight, we can hand fly it.
Okay.
It's totally up to us. Usually if we're doing a very quick flight, I think the quickest we do, wheels up to wheels down, you'll love this. What do you think would be the quickest flight we would do? Wheels up to wheels down.
He's 30 minutes?
13. 13. And we're working.
That's...
We're working because there's a lot of stuff we've got to get
You're
done.
up, you're down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're up and down. And there's some captains who will hand fly that. Some first officers will hand fly that.
Okay.
And then there's some that, since we get to 500 feet, it's autopilot. And with the workload, that's acceptable, because if there's a lot going on, that it's nice to have two people, one watching the other.
Sure. And that's exactly what I do in this. As a matter of fact, we're doing it now, right? I got us through takeoff. We've been on autopilot. I just been tooling around the heading bug.
Sure.
But like I have relatives in Florida. I do the same thing. The autopilot flies pretty much the whole thing, because it gets monotonous after a while flying straight and level.
Right.
So really, my job, which I'm saying is yours, right? We got frequencies that you're going to have to change to, right? They're going to call you every once in a while, hand you off,
Yep.
And monitoring what the plane's doing and making sure it's doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Right.
And I think where a pilot earns his pay, everybody takes you for granted until something goes wrong.
Right.
And that's where you have to know what to do to jump in and fix it.
That's correct.
You can't just go, oh, I don't know. So here's a personal question.
Sure.
And I asked this, I probably now know half a dozen people who've moved to the airlines who are instructors, and I asked them all the same thing. If you get wind that I'm on the manifest to your flight, are you sending back a complimentary scotch?
Well, I will say we don't know who is on our plane. I don't, on my paperwork, I don't see I see how many people we have.
Oh, well, that's a fly in the ointment there, isn't it?
Yes.
I was starting to count my scotches on every flight. I started out with free upgrade, and I thought, well, that's a lot to ask. They might not have room, but a free scotch. So I have to come up with a way of first knowing who's in the cockpit and then making myself known. Yeah, that's a lot of work for a quote-unquote free scotch.
Well, I would say when you're on the jet bridge and you're getting ready to get on the aircraft, if you lean to your left, tap on the captain's window, you're going to see two people look back at you. If you recognize either one of those people, then you know. If not, but yeah, we have a lot of electrical systems. We have different buses, different systems run on different buses.
School buses, city buses.
School buses, activity buses.
Okay, short buses.
Well, I don't know about that.
To pat myself on the back, I have been flying, managing, and interviewing. I mean, David Letterman just sits at a desk with questions, right?
Wait.
What?
George has been flying.
That's true. Well, I've been using the heading bug. Does that count? Be keeping us out of airspaces, watching traffic.
You have been doing that. You have been keeping us out of airspaces.
So, anyway.
We do not have a number to call once we land.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're not back yet, though.
Oh.
Well, cool. I appreciate you coming up. It's been good catching up with you. And,
yes,
and I think there's been good information here, because I didn't know a lot of this stuff. I kind of knew the basic framework, I guess, but and I'm not even going into it, so I can see where that would be helpful. It's always better to know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah. If anybody reaches out with a question, please feel free to just comment. And if I miss it, Bruce will text me.
Yeah.
And I'll jump in there and I'll comment back or we'll make contact somehow and get whatever information I can be of assistance to anybody starting out or whatever.
So, runway 2.
No, I think you're a good resource, and not many people have access to. I mean, unless you're already a CFI, kind of our situation where you're palling around with people doing that. If you're a new student, you don't have those connections yet.
Right.
So you may not be able to get that information. She's still high. She don't want to come down. Oh. Dang, why is she doing that? I didn't think she was crooked. Did it look crooked to you?
It needed a little right rudder.
Okay.
Diamond 526 Delta Sierra, turn left at Delta and taxi to the ramp, Alpha 6.
Delta Alpha 6 to the ramp, 526 Delta Sierra.
You don't fly here very much, so it could be that Statesville is a crooked. It's got that bend in the middle. You were set up for that.
Could be. I'm sitting on the left seat where I haven't been a while, and I probably need to practice more.
That could be. That could also be it.